Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello. So, once again I am here with you and with a very interesting topic that is called from persuasion to negotiation. Why this topic is interesting in the context of communication? Because communication is playing very important role so far as the persuasion and negotiation concerned. Two things are very important in this context. When we talk about negotiation, in the center if you think, it is nothing but communication skills and relationships. So, I shall be focusing around these two ideas, how to develop skills so that we are able to persuade. In my previous lectures, if you remember, in one of my lectures related to communication styles, there I focused different types of styles, and one of the styles was Socratic. That means these type of people are very good in persuading others. What does it mean? They have lots of ideas to share with, to make people involved whatever they are saying, and the people feel so much involved that they will listen to them. So, this is one of the skills to persuade others. Many times that when you go to some shopping center and then their sales persons are there, and they will try to show their products and try to persuade you. Even we are not interested, but they will speak in such a nice manner that we feel tempted to have a look, even we are not in a mood to buy. So, this is really a very interesting skill, and if we are having this particular skill, then it works to negotiate for certain things. So, I shall be showing few slides and then I will interpret further. So, one can negotiate if one does not know how to persuade. One cannot negotiate if one does not know how to persuade. And in many situations, to persuade others, communication and relationship play an important role. So, what I was just talking about, that this communication and development or maintenance and development of relationship, these two things are really very important. So, basically persuading involves being able to convince others to take appropriate action. Negotiating involves being able to discuss and reach a mutually satisfactory agreement. What does it mean? This means that convincing, negotiation means it is a convincing, and how we can convince, that is really very important. And convincing, of course, it is a very difficult task to convince others, but at the same time it is also not impossible. One needs a certain kind of skills and continuous training, and once we develop these things in our personality, then really it becomes quite interesting. Now, there are certain path of negotiation. What is path of negotiation? All of us negotiate many times a day. Everybody, means of course it may be in different context, but we are negotiating. And we negotiated as children for things we wanted, like attention, special treats and pocket money. In fact, this kind of negotiating behavior begins from very childhood. When we are small children, then also we are negotiating. Parents are negotiating with their children that, okay, you do this and then I will do this for you. For example, if you complete your home assignment, homework, and then you will be given some sort of some gifts or chocolates, or we shall be going for outing. So, this is nothing but just a kind of negotiation only, convincing each other, getting the work done by certain process, by certain communication practices. So when we negotiate, the same thing in fact happens when we become adult. So we negotiate as adults for much more complex sets of desires that when we examine them closely often come down to the same things we negotiated for as children. So basic behavior, basic what is called instinct remains the same when we are grown up. When we become adult, of course we are not negotiating as children small things, but big deals, maybe that in our organization or the place where we are working, many times we have to negotiate with others, other groups, other companies, other organizations to convince them, and also to get convinced from their communication behavior, style of communication, as well as what kind of relationships we are having and what is the goal, objective. So these things of course not that simple, but basically this is nothing but our childhood practice and habits. Now if you try to define negotiation, it can be something like that. A negotiation is an interactive communication process that may take place whenever we want something from someone else or another person wants something from us. So you see, then in all these, what is in the center? That is communication process. We want something from others, or somebody wants something from us, or we have something to get it done. Then we are negotiating, and in negotiation our communication skill, our communication ability playing very important role. So we have to be very careful how to talk, whom to talk, and about our style, behavior, our facial expression, body language, etc. All these aspects related to communication very important. So we usually negotiate differently with those we love than we do with strangers. Now, you know, context might be different. It is said that nothing wrong what is called in love and war. So there means when we are having intimate relationship with somebody, there it's not always that win-win situation. Sometimes we feel proud, we feel happy to lose also. So that is but different thing in our intimate relationship, or if we love somebody in our family or with our friends in our relationship, if that is the situation. But if for our in our professional life, when we are negotiating for certain things, whether it is job, whether it's company related issues, whether it's in educational organizations to deal with the higher authority to get something approved or done, then of course many things are there which we have to be careful. The first foundation of effective negotiation is our own style and personality as a negotiator. And when we talk about the personality, of course in personality there are several things, including our communication behavior. So this is playing again very important role to convince other. So communication skills is in the center in a way that it will help to convince by using our style, by using our good words and sentences, showing respect, showing involvement, showing our integrity. All such things are important in our communication behavior. Now issues in negotiation, basically there are 4 contemporary issues in negotiation. The role of personality traits. You know, our good personality, there are certain traits related to personality, whether we are very straightforward, we are humble, we are polite, we are submissive. There are certain traits in our personality, and we have to understand that what personality traits will be very much suitable in that particular context or situation when we are sitting on a negotiating tables and talking with others. It's not that those who are very straightforward and those who are talking very in a direct manner, they will be liked very much. It's not like that. Sometimes even people, we have to also understand the context and the culture of that particular place and the locality, because some people do like direct and straightforward, but there are some people who will not appreciate if something is said directly on the face. We have to understand the situation, the context, the people, and keeping all these things in mind, if we are trying to place our point of view, then perhaps people will appreciate, and they will try to give attention, and we shall proceed further. Gender differences in negotiation, this is also very, very important, because there are certain cultures where gender issues are very, very sensitive. So, while talking to male members and talking to female members, these are two different situations. What kind of language we are supposed to use, what kind of respect we are supposed to show, what kind of things related to non-verbal behavior which is acceptable in that particular culture and situation, we have to be very cautious. It is not that we can talk whatever we feel proper in our culture. We have to understand the place, the situation, and the people sitting over there, their age, and also the gender is playing very, very important role. And another point which I have mentioned, that effect of cultural differences in negotiation. So, we have to always honor and respect the culture of that particular place. One should be very proud of his or own culture, or whatever faith a person is having, that is very good. But at the same time, one should also have tolerance and respect for others, because if you are not having respect for others' culture, others' language, others' food habit, others' way of living, then perhaps we will be put in a very embarrassing situation, and people will not like. So, culture is such a sensitive issue that everybody think that his or her culture is the best in the world. Okay, fine. So, that thinking is good. So, it is not that there should not be a clash sort of thing, rather we should having respect for our own culture and maintaining our dignity. We should also give equal respect to others' culture and religion, and then keeping these things in mind, if you are negotiating, perhaps we shall be in a better position than others. And many times that in negotiating table, when we are sitting or talking with other party, we are not able to resolve, we are not able to come up, or we are not able to succeed. In that situation, what happens, that sometimes the need of third party or mediator or somebody else's also helps a lot. Many times in personal life, suppose sometimes we are having some issues, some problems with other party, with other persons or colleagues, then if you take the help of somebody who is really very sincere, honest, and tries to help each other, and if he is acceptable to both the parties, then perhaps he can play a very important role in negotiating. So, particularly if you see that in Indian scenario, very good example might be that lots of marriages are taking place because of these very good middlemen, or the one who knows both the parties and then trying to convince each other. So, sometimes the role of this mediator or third party becomes very, very important. Now, coming to the next slide, that there are number of styles. So, for our discussion point of view, here these are the few styles related to negotiation. The first one is avoider. In life, if we can avoid small issues, small things, even we like or do not like, doesn't matter, if it is not going to affect adversely our personality, our life, then there is no need to put unnecessarily so much importance to these small issues. We can just avoid. For example, sometimes small things like people are not saluting or shaking hands, or not in a good mood, and just saying something which we may not like. So, yeah, maybe that our human behavior is so much complex that we do not know that what kind of mood a person is having, and sometimes person behave in a very strange manner. but we should not give so much importance at that particular point, because we find that suddenly the person has changed, he is changing his style, he is changing his mood or her mood. So, we can avoid, and this is the only way that we can go ahead. Otherwise, what happens that if we are putting too much importance to these small issues, then perhaps we cannot go one step ahead, so to negotiate the bigger things, to achieve the bigger goals. Another thing might be the compromiser. Many times we compromise, you do this for me, I will do this for you. Particularly this happens in the organizational context when companies are coming and the negotiating a table, then one step they go ahead, one step other party is going ahead, or one step they are going back, one step other party is going back. So, sometimes we compromise, okay, you do this, I will do this for you, you do this for me. So, this is also one of the styles. If the situation demands, then we can help each other by compromising, and then perhaps we can negotiate further. Another style might be accommodator. We can accommodate. It is just like, we are traveling by train, and it's just there are 3-seater place, seats are only can accommodate only 3, but one person who is standing, and if we are in a accommodative mode, and then we can okay come and you can also sit. So, we are accommodating and just adjusting. It depends, it's just something related to mental space. If you have that concern, then we shall not, even little bit inconvenience is there, but we will not feel very uncomfortable. So, exactly this is the way it happens that in our personal professional life, whenever there is a such situation where by accommodating we can go ahead, and there is nothing to lose, and not much problem or difficulties will come, rather it will be give a goodwill, and people will like. So, it is good that we can go ahead with this type of style, that is called accommodating others, accommodator style. And other one is very important, that problem solver. Means there is a problem and we try to analyze critically each and every issues related to this, pros and cons, everything, and then we try to solve the problem, because this is something very difficult, and from various angles, from various point of view, we have to understand, and taking into confidence the other parties, we try to go into in-depth analysis, analyze critically, and then we try to say that yes, now friends, we have discussed a lot, but ultimately we have to find out a solution. Because if we are having a willingness to have some sort of solution will come, we can solve the problem. So, willingness should be there, and of course, this is sometimes difficult, but if you are having that kind of desire and willingness and try to convince, then perhaps we can get the solution to the problem also. We can solve the problem, because it is said that in this world there is no such problem where there is no solution. It is just like lock and key. Locks cannot be manufactured without key. So, whenever there is a lock, there must be some key, means there must be some solution to the problem. So, it all depends how we take up, how we are able to convince, and the role of our communication ability, communication behavior is very important. Now, there are certain foundations of effective negotiations, and we have to keep in mind. First thing is that determine the basic style preferences. What is basic style? Means in communication, what kind of style we should use. It is related to communication style, our way of talking. As I have already mentioned that no two persons will talk in a in similar manner. So, if we are talking in the way or in the style the other person expects, that becomes really very interesting and effective. So, if we can match our frequency, then it is going to help a lot. Acquire willingness to prepare, means we should go prepared. It is not that when we are trying to negotiate, we are having half information or not fully equipped. What exactly do we want? So, everything should be very clear, and clear crystal that exactly this is the thing we want to achieve. Set high expectation, means it is not that okay, we shall be satisfied, we shall be happy if we get only this much. No, not like that. Set a very high goal, have high expectation, and start with that. Try first, and then let us see what happens. And the most important thing is that have patience to listen to others. When we are negotiating, it's not only the one person is keep on speaking and speaking and speaking, and other person is not getting chance to put forward his or her point of view. So we should have patience to listen to others. Only because it is said that listening is the mother of all communication. Means if we are not a good listener, we can never be a good communicator. We can never convince others, because other party will feel that, oh, this fellow is only speaking and is not allowing others to speak. So it gives a very negative feeling, negative message. So we should try, we should speak, but at the same time have patience and appreciate others. Whatever others are speaking, we should also appreciate. Okay, good. Of course, we can also give our point of view, our position, but at the same time, we should have a good patience to listen to others. This is very, very important. Make a commitment to personal integrity. Never we should compromise with the personal integrity of ourselves. We should always maintain that there is a limit for everything, and we cannot go beyond that. Think carefully what you really want. Now, as I have already mentioned, this is very, very important, that we have to very careful that actually what is the bottom line and what actually do we want out of this negotiation, that we have to think of. Set an optimistic but justifiable target. Means target must be there. Be specific. Write down the goal and commit to it, and carry the goal into the negotiation. Always when we are negotiating, we have to keep in mind that what is the ultimate goal to achieve in negotiation, and our talk, our all the process, or all the behavior, or all the thinking process should be around that, how we can achieve that goal. Never just deviate from that goal. And sometimes people are talking something which is not exactly related to the goal or to the specific issue, then we start talking here and there, but we should be very much we should be concentrating to that particular goal. So if you are having that in mind, then our communication behavior always will be around that. Now there are certain authoritative standards and norms in negotiation, and these we have to keep in mind. For example, survey the applicable standards and norms, identify the ones the other party views as legitimate. In negotiation, this is very, very important, because legitimacy is also should be honored, and whenever we are negotiating what is legitimate for other person, other party, that always we have to keep in mind. And we should keep in hand, ready, prepare supporting data and arguments. When we are arguing certain things and we are not able to convince, then it's very difficult. Others will get convinced only our point of view is supported by very convincing arguments, and if necessary we can provide the evidences, we can provide the data based and convincing arguments help us to convince others and to get our work done. Further anticipate the arguments the other side will make. Go prepare. Now it is not that then and there only arguments might come. In advance also we can prepare that in negotiation, if I am putting some particular argument, then other person, other party might have some counter argument. So in what way I am going to handle those type of arguments. So I think little bit preparation in advance will help. And if necessary, consider making arguments before a sympathetic audience. So arguments should be in such a way that when negotiation is going on, other parties are there, audience there, then we can put forward our point of view in such a manner that it is going to create some sort of sympathy, some sort of understanding for us. So other party interest is also very, very important. It is not that in negotiation only we think of our interest. So it will never be done, it will never work. What is? Locate the decision maker, who are the decision maker in other party, how might it serve the other party's interest to help you achieve your goals, why might the other party say no, means that also it's very, very interesting. If other party is saying no, what could be the reason why they are saying no, and we should concentrate on that particular aspect and try to get some solution. And what low cost option might remove the other party's objections. So, all such things, what other parties interest and expectations are there, if we put in advance, if we think in advance, perhaps we shall be in a better position to handle the situation. Again, further coming to relationship, I have already mentioned that yes, this is going to help a lot, and then gain access and credibility through relationship networks. In life, otherwise also relationship matters a lot, whether it's a personal life, professional life. No one can deny the importance of relationship. We are having a good relationship with others, it becomes easier to convince, it becomes easier to get the work done, it becomes easier to achieve the goal. So, it's an art, and we should try to maintain and advance our relationship as and when required for our professional or personal life. Build working relationship across the table with small steps such as gifts, favor, disclosures or concessions. So, these are some of the ways. In fact, it depends in which situation what will be more appropriate, that we have to decide, but these are the ways for maintaining and advancing our relationships. Avoid reciprocity and relationship traps like trusting too quickly. We should not trust too quickly, means we should not be emotional. If a person is just starts crying and weeping, then we think that yes, he or she is always right, and whatever he is saying we should not like that. Emotion is good, but we should not be too emotional, and if we are involved in such activities, perhaps we cannot have the right decision. So, we should not trust too quickly. Letting others make you feel guilty and mixing big business with personal friendship. So, these things should be taken care. Avoid follow the rules of reciprocity. Always follow the rule of reciprocity. Reciprocal, this generally happens. Suppose if I am disclosing certain things, the other party will also disclose. So, these are the things we have to take care. Be reliable and trustworthy, be fair to those who are fair to you. When other parties treat you unfairly, let them know about it, that they are not treating you fairly. So, these things are really very, very important in our negotiation behavior. Now, another thing is that is called leverage. Leverage means, can I gain control over something the other party needs? Can I commit the other party to norms that favor my result? And can I form a coalition to improve my position? So, all such questions should be put and try to get answer and worked around them. So, our negotiation might be useful and grateful. Now, these are the certain negotiation process. First step is preparing your strategy, as I have already mentioned, exchanging information, here communication skills, opening and making concessions, yes, and closing and gaining commitment. So, these are the process in negotiation, and if you follow this process, then we are in a better position. So, finally, I would like to conclude that negotiation is a fascinating aspect of human social life. If we treat people right, they will treat us right at least 90% of the time. Generally, people are nice, generally, yeah, exceptions are always there, but we should be good to others, we should be having empathy, sympathy for others, we should listen to others. Definitely, if you are behaving like this, they will also behave. If there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from our own. So, this is very, very important. And finally, we should not be so sweet that people will eat us up, nor so bitter that they will spit us out. So, both are the extreme cases. We have to be very careful. And finally, the self-respect is very important. Without self-respect, one loses the will to succeed as well as the respect of others. So, self-respect all the time should be maintained in negotiation process. And finally I will end up that in any negotiation process, or if you want to persuade others for negotiation, to get success, to have a successful negotiation, two things again will be very important. One is that our communication behavior, which includes communication style, which includes our intrapersonal communication, which includes how much importance we are giving to ourselves and to others, and also the maintenance, development and maintenance of a relationship, because relationship matters a lot in our life. If we are able to have these two aspects, then our negotiation will be successful and both the parties might be in a win-win situation. Thank you very much.